Um, I'm sorry that I do not speak German, so I will speak in English, and I try to speak as low as I can. So first, I'd like to introduce myself a little quick. My name is Carson Lee. I am from China, from where most fireworks are made, yes. And I am personally 15 years in fireworks, sales, marketing, and all that kind of thing. And I'm also the founder of Pyro and Boomwow Fireworks. So currently I'm having a team with 35 doing fireworks and all the trading. So I hope I could bring something from China, and I hope you guys will be interested, okay? And so I've got first question. Are you guys importers, or are you guys retailers, or actual fireworks fans? Importers, can you raise your hands if you're importers? Okay, only one or two, okay. So if you are retailers, okay, a lot of them, and then the rest are fans. So you do like fireworks, right? Okay. And then I know what I shall say different, because you're not importer and you're mostly retailer or fans. And so, what do you know about China fireworks industry? Can you tell me some keywords of what you know about China? Anybody?
Big firework.
What?
Big firework.
Oh, okay, big firework. Okay, that's one of the key keywords. Any other thing? I mean, anything you know about China and about China fireworks?
There's a huge delta in quality between the different producers. You can get very low quality, and in between you also get rather high quality.
Okay, so the gentleman said you can find totally different kind of quality products from different factories, from different technicians. Ah, that's right, okay. And so one thing that I want to say is that China is producing a lot small fireworks, small, a lot small. So any other thing about China fireworks actually? The gentleman in the very end, the importer. Do you have anything about China? You know?
Liu Yang.
Liu Yang, yeah. Okay. Yes, I'm personally from Liu Yang as well, and today I will explain a little bit more about China and about China fireworks, okay? And yeah, my main topic today will be the challenges facing fireworks industry, because I think overall the world is changing a lot, from manufacturing, from sales, from importing, and even from retails, and also from fans as well, because people want something different. So the first biggest thing that I want to tell you is that here's a diagram of the number of fireworks factories in the world, because as you can see, there are a total of 5,239 factories in the world, but China take the big part of the whole industry, and we actually having 2,940 factories in China. And as far as in Italy, Mexico, and India, there are also a lot of factories, like 1,400. But as you could see, in China, we make the maximum about 80% of the whole fireworks industry in the world, yes. And even like in India, there are a lot of factories, but actually the production volume is quite low, even in those countries. And for Italy and also Mexico and all of those, they have many factories, but rather producing for for the domestic markets. So they're not exporting. And the main exporting comes from China and comes from Liu Yang, where I am from. So here is the number of factories in China, present day. The number dropped a lot in the past, I think 10-15 years. We used to have about 5,400 factories in whole China. and now there are only 2,940. I will also explain you why and what comes to this direction. As you can see, Luoyang, where I am from, we've got 511 factories, and the total output was $35 billion. So, all of the other leading ones I Shanli, because you're not importers, you might not know the names, but the main importers should know that those 4 locations are the main manufacturing of fireworks in the world. But the biggest thing is, there are big problem in China for the fireworks production because first comes with the government directive. The government are trying to control the market, control the fireworks industry. They put more regulations on production, transportation, factory, and safety, and sales, and everything. So over the years, the factories are getting less and less. So I think the retailers or people here, like fans, you hardly can find some old-fashioned products anymore because those factories might have already closed, might have already stopped. But on the other hand, possibly you can still buy some old-fashioned products, but the price is about 2 times more, even 3 times more than like 5-10 years ago, because nobody would like to make the little product, and that's the actual situation. So the second thing is the high remodeling cost. That's a very crucial situation because Chinese government are trying to regulate all the factories, so they are asking them to renew the license every 3 years. So they have to spend a lot of money to rebuild, to expand, to make roads, make safety regulations and all that kind of thing. So they have to spend a lot of money. So some factories choose to stop or choose to sell the factories instead of continue. So that was one of the reasons why the factories are getting less and less. So the third thing is that compensation for resign. I think starting from last year, 2018, Luoyang government are trying to offer from $180,000 to $420,000 for you if you choose to resign from production. So as an example, if you are a fireworks producer and when you say, okay, I do not want to continue, you can make application to the government. The government will give you even $42,000, maximum of $40,000 to $20,000. But if you do not resign, if you do not choose to resign, you might have to spend $500,000 or maybe $420,000 to remodel the factories every 3 years. So last year, there were about, I think, 150 factories. They choose to resign, to enter that program, to resign from the industry. And also the Jiangxi and the other locations also followed. But now this stopped. But overall, we got a really bad, not bad, but less factories eventually. So, and also the continuous conflicts. Like what I said, in China, all the factories are in the country area, in the countryside, very rural areas. And so there are many conflicts between the neighborhoods, accidents, and then rental costs for lands and everything, because every 3 years when you have to remodeling the factory, you have to expand. You have to find more lands to build more production line or in order to adapt to the regulation. So this also create problems for the most factories, and that's why in the past, I think 5 years, not 10 years, but 5 years, you always can hear about delay in fireworks. shipment. Sometimes they have to stop for license. They have to stop for remaking the factories, so they cannot produce. And I think it gives the importers a lot pressure. Yeah, a lot pressure. So the other story is about production ban. As you could hear here, there are a heat ban in Luoyang, in Jiangxi. So during, I think, July to August. And so because it's too hot, and every year in the past 10 years, there are many accidents during the heat time, when the temperature is over 40 or 42, so easily can cause some big problems and big injury and big death. So people have to stop for heat ban. And the second thing is that when anytime the Chinese central government, when they have some important meetings, they will have to stop production as well. So you got no reason, you have to stop. If the meeting is 7 days, you have to stop 7 days. If the meeting is 2 weeks, you have to stop 2 weeks. So this is even extra from the actual production time. And the third thing is the accidents. So when anytime there are accidents in different locations, the whole area have to stop. You have to stop for production because they might have to check everybody in the city or in the town or even in the province. So, like I think in 2017, one of the area in Luoyang, they do stop maybe 1.5 months because of the accident. So I think all of those give the importers, and like us, we are a trading company, okay? Like us, a big challenge for production because it leaves us only 4 or 5 months for production. Because now in spring, it is not very proper time to produce cakes, especially because of the humidity. So we got only 4 or 5 months for production. And that's also one of the reasons why everything is delayed year by year. So the third thing is the labor shortage. As you can see, fireworks are with low income and kind of dirty, kind of very detailed, and also high risky. So many younger generation do not want to continue working in the fireworks industry, and that's a big problem. As you could try, I don't know, any guys here who visit Luoyang or visit any fireworks factories? Anybody? Okay, there are a few. So if you visit some factories who are making like crackling, like small rockets or Satan missiles or those kind of factories, you can see 60 or 80-year-old lady working very detailed in the factories because they cannot afford too much salary for that item. Yes. So, and on the other thing is that rules for employment. Government is regulating everything from factory, from safety, and also from employment. You have to spend a lot more time and not more money, not more insurance for the workers. So it causes also more problem and also cost for the factories as well. And then on the other hand, in China, especially in fireworks industry, we are lack of talent. And most of them are from farmer and from maybe junior schools, and they are not so talented. And that's why this industry is not so much creativity every year, and that's also very crucial. So the third thing is the increasing cost. I don't know if you have heard from the importers. In 2017, the whole China is trying to control the paper factories. So they stopped many factories, and so it cost about maybe a lot increase on pricing, 45 to 40, maybe 50% for the paper. So that's a big problem for the whole industry. And the second thing is the material price hike. Yeah, every year, chemicals
and maybe fusing and burst charge, and everything's rising. And the third thing is the remodel cost, like what I explained, and also increasing salary, because once they are more educated, insurance, everything, they request more money. So that makes the pricing higher. But all the gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen here, because you're the retailers, what you look for are margin that you can have, and the fans or actual fireworks users, they don't want to spend any more cent to buy the same item. So the pressure comes over to the importers and the companies in China, and that's the actual situation. So what I'm saying is that maybe in the future, try to be a little bit more gentle when you push price to the importers, especially. So the other thing is the unhealthy competition. Similarity, the first thing, because in China, factory from factory, like the other guy said, products are quite similar. If this guy is making 50 short, maybe he will make another 50 short by changing a little bit of labeling and all this and that. So this causes a little bit problem, I think, in the future. I mean, for long-term development. And the other thing is the abnormal pricing. Like what I said, as you see, it's a high-risk industry, and everything is detailed and dirty and everything like that. And also, most of them are labor work. But the pricing is not as much as it should be, because if I'm selling any other products, I may get more benefits, even more percentage. But for fireworks, I hope this can change in the future, but that's what I wish anyway. So the third thing is the dark area. Because here in Germany, what I know is that I know some companies, people are, you're only allowed to have 5% for consumer, right? And either 2% with iron cage. And as far as I know, there are some importers that are putting a little bit more burst charge. And but for the consumer, they don't understand. They see a better product. So for some of the importers and the more importers focusing on quality and regulation, their products looks slightly less than another company maybe, but the secret is not about quality. The secret is about maybe a company is doing according to the regulation, but big company is doing more on customer request, because people like wow effects. And I think what I suggest in future, even I suggest my customers, let's say like Leslie or like Wolf, we are suggesting not to to put more burst charge and trying to do everything according to the regulation. Yes. So the third thing is the import just under great pressure. That's what I said. All the factories are picky, and they request more cash, and they choose companies like us, they choose customers, they choose everything. Who pays faster, you get a chance. I think in the past 5-10 years or even ago, you don't have to spend too much money to get products. But now you have to spend cash all the time in order to get the priority position in their clients list. And this is getting even more crucial. So higher costs are lower margin, like what I said, because all costs coming up. The customers in like in Germany or like in other countries, they do not want to spend more money than usual, yes. And then difficulty in customization. Once I talked with some importers, they said many retailers would like to order some private label, maybe with their shop name or maybe with their new ideas or whatever. But this is getting very difficult because once you order a product with 50 cases or maybe 20 cases with your own label, that most factories will refuse, most factories. But the chances, if you're ordering the same item from the importer but to relabel it with your own, that might be easier. So I think this is some kind of conflicts between the importers and also the retailers. And I understand most retailers would like to have their own products, right? And that I do understand that. So, and there are also some positive sides. Eventually, I mean, with the control from the fireworks factories, from the government, you'll get better factories, I think, and also better companies because they're more qualified, and better importers. And I think in this 3-4 years, I can hardly see new importers. And some importers, they stopped already because it's not necessary to do direct import. And so I think more quality products in the future, for sure. And also more creative ideas. Because actually for us, we are so happy to hear what you say and what you want, from retailers, from our fans and everybody. And this will give us, or factory, or the importers, more chance to grow. So do not be gentle when you make new ideas to your importers, but be a little bit more gentle when you push pricing. That's what I want to say. So, and the third thing is the long-lasting and healthy. So once everything, more safety factories, more regulated companies, and better importers will make this whole industry long-lasting and healthy, and that's what we look for as well. So, and okay, I've got some suggestions for importers, but not for you Germans here. And first, find some strategic partners. What I mean is that you have to find somebody that is more important in your supplier list, then try to work more united, and so we can support each other financially, maybe for production and everything, like new product development and everything like that. So, and the third thing is to place order earlier, and like Wolf, German in the end, they've already been doing better, a lot better, because they placing order earlier and earlier. And then place 30% more, that's what I was suggesting, because every year, in the last 3 years, you always cannot get full amount of delivery, because the factories may close, may have weather problems, may have meetings, and they cannot supply. Maybe when you order 1,000 cases, you can get 700. Maybe you order 2,000, you can get even less. So what I think is that if you need 1,000, try to order 1,300. I mean, if you're financially possible. And for retailers, if you are financially possible, what I suggest is that try to place an order earlier as well. And even maybe place a double order. Why? Because the price may raise next year. If you get a product this year, you may save maybe 10-15%. That could happen. And when anybody else do not have products, and you have products in the house. But this is only when you are financially possible. Yeah, I do suggest to do so, and it also helps the importers to make their own plans as well. So 2-year plan. Some importers doing this because when they have good warehousing, when they have good finance backgrounds, they're making 2-year plan. they make production for 2 years. And I think that's also a very good solution for some mass products anyway, okay? And then keep creative and also do more marketing, like what you see today. I think most of the exhibitors here, they do a great job. And they try to present more of the new products and everything. And I think retailers will also need more marketing in order to be strong in your neighborhoods or area in the competition as well. So, yeah, and I'm doing it a little quick because I really do not know if you understand or not, but I'm just trying to explain a little bit of the whole industry. And what I want to say is that please, when you have any new ideas, try very hard to push your partners, the importers, so they can move the industry further. And when you have something not maybe for effects, but for packaging, I also suggest you to push hard, because the more you push the importers, the more pressure that we get, and the better products that we may achieve eventually. So, and our goal, my wish is to hope that this fireworks industry will continue more healthily and in a better way. So basically tomorrow, if time is possible, I may invite our technician who is making fireworks 15-20 years. He will be here together with me on stage to be open and to accept any questions or anything about fireworks industry, even effects, new effects development, or any possibilities. So I think tomorrow will be in the same time, 4:30. And here is my contact details. You can contact me if you have any questions. I'm not here for selling myself or selling our products, but because this is not the only chance that I will talk to people, and I am also trying to express the difficulties to most fireworks fans, because once we have you here and we feel more comfortable and we feel more supported, okay? And that's the end. And anybody has any questions, maybe I can do a quick answer. If you have any questions from what I have been talking or anything that I didn't mention, do you have any questions? Okay. Thank you so much. And if you will have more questions or things like that, you're welcome to come again 4:30 tomorrow, and we will have an open stage and to have more conversation for any direction. Okay? Thanks for listening. Thank you.